USC Commencement. For your safety, please be aware of the following guidelines. In the unlikely event of an earthquake, remember to drop, cover, and hold in place, then calmly await further instructions from safety personnel. If you should see anything out of the ordinary, please notify a security officer or commencement staff member. For emergency assistance, contact the USC Department of Public Safety at 213-740-4321. Thank you for your attention. Enjoy your day at USC, and congratulations to all our graduates.
Good morning, everyone. Please be seated. Well, good afternoon to the graduating class, the Kaufman graduating class of 2022. Congratulations. I am Rob Cudietta. I'm Dean of the Kaufman School of Dance, and I'm so proud to be here. Graduates, you hold a historic place in the formation of the Kaufman School. As you know, the Kaufman School was the first new school to be created at USC in 40 years. To celebrate this, we created a wall of firsts that you've seen in the lobby. And each of you are on that wall because when you entered the school 4 years ago as freshmen, you made us complete. It was the first time we had an entire student body of freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and falling flags. No, seniors. That's kind of nice. It got caught there. Your picture will remain on the wall as long as there's a Kaufman School of Dance, which will really be forever. Today you graduate. Yes. And this signals the end of an era. We move into the next. Yeah. Is that in your job description? Okay. So we move into our next stages of school. We are no longer a startup. As such, you have been an important part of our growing up. Your talent, your input, your patience, and your efforts and care have allowed us to constantly adapt and improve. Oh yeah, and that was all during the pandemic when you were scattered to the ends of the world. So for this, we celebrate you as you graduate. You are a part of USC history, and you have not only received your education, but you helped create something totally, totally unique. Thank you from the entire faculty and staff of the Kaufman School. Now, yes. We know you didn't get here alone. There were many who supported you long before you came here, before you came here today, and they'll continue to support you in the future. I'd like to acknowledge those people now. Would all the parents of a graduating student please stand up? Would all the grandparents stand up and that's a very special group to us. Thank you for helping with the tuition. Okay, how about aunts, uncles, and cousins? And just to be totally make sure everybody gets to stand up, significant others, friends, or people who just wandered in, please stand up. Thank you all for your support. This festive day is here because of you. Now, it is really my honor to introduce to you a very special guest we have today, Dr. Carol L. Folt, the 12th president of the University of Southern California. She's a humanist and a passionate advocate and supporter of all the arts. Please welcome President Folt.
It is a joy to be with you here today. This is my first time ever at not just the Kaufman graduation, but any of the school's graduation. So thank you. Oh boy, and it is so exciting. And I'm gonna do something else that I think is kind of historic right now. Now, I'm really sorry, but somehow the provost, who feels terrible about it, forgot to say Kaufman School. So I know you wanted to scream, so you can scream about that. Kaufman School. But I am going to ask you to stand, and I am going to confer your degrees again. Please rise. And I think after hearing me say it so much, you could probably say it right along with me. By the authority vested in me by the USC Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon each of you the degree or certificate for which you have been recommended by the faculty with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. As evidence of these degrees and certificates, I shall direct that an appropriate diploma of the University of Southern California be presented to each of you, signed by its officers and embossed with the seal of the University of Southern California. Congratulations, graduates. Now, if you tell people you have 2 degrees from Kaufman, who's going to say anything? Please be seated. It is really wonderful to be here, and I just say to our 23 graduating Kaufman students, congratulations. You persevered through a pandemic. You nourished us with your expressive magic on Zoom. I watched you often. And tomorrow, or today, you are now alums of USC. So, thank you. And I think your dean did it so well, reminding you of all the wonderful people that saw you along the way, your families, your friends. I liked all the people that walked in off the streets just to be here. There were a lot of you that were there. It's just wonderful, and we all know that their love and their support makes all the difference. What we also know is that each one of you has your own story. I know one thing you all share. You spent countless of hours in the dance studio, and you tapped in to the soul of humanity to create breathtaking moments for all of us. I'm sure you overcame many different challenges, even things like expectations about what a dancer looks like or who belongs on the stage. You had, I'm sure, issues that were financial for some of you, physical obstacles. And I bet that even your amazing capacity, your body didn't always feel like you wanted it to do. It wasn't always there for you, but you always fought on. And that strength and that resilience, I know, it's going to sustain you throughout your life. Now, there are 2 people here today who really made this moment possible for everyone. The first, of course, is Dean Rob Curieta. We all love him, and he is stepping down as Kaufman's inaugural dean and beginning his own next chapter with his wife, Mist. But you will never be far away from Rob. He was there before the first board laid the first studio in the school. He helped build a world-class program from a glimmer to what it is today in record time. I'm just gonna say, it's amazing. And in April, I awarded Dean Curieta USC's highest annual honor, the Presidential Medallion. And with his humble spirit, he turned around and he thanked all of you because he is always there for our students. The second person I really want to acknowledge is one of USC's and our city's greatest treasures, the incomparable Gloria Kaufman. And you know, Gloria, your story reminds me a little bit about what Allison Felix said. You saw something in your mind that nobody else did. And as Allison said, and you did, she just don't give up. She had a dream. She saw a place filled with dynamic, creative, diverse dancers. She saw a place that could make dance on the West Coast a powerful force. And she saw a place that students could prepare for lifelong careers in dance with the best faculty and staff in the world. And it took her partnership, her philanthropy, and her love of dance to make it happen. So we're so grateful. Gloria has said, Dance opens up the world. Art lets us communicate in a way that breaks through barriers. This is the life that is awaiting all of you as graduates, filled with your amazing connection and your expression. So let's have another round of applause for our two champions here. I just briefly want to share a couple more thoughts with you, our students. And I just want to tell you personally what you have brought to me during your time here, most of which has been my time here. You know, I first experienced your amazing talent and exuberance on the eve of my inauguration when Bovard was filled with artists, including incredible dancers from Kaufman. My family looked at me and said, "What? You know, where are you?" You know, we couldn't believe it. Broadway came to Bovard with such beautiful expression and feeling. And since then, I have been, but so many have been inspired by what you do, but who you are, how your character comes through, the beauty that you create through movement, and most of all, by the light that you shine. So I'm going to just offer a quote from Misty Copeland. She says, "I try to approach every opportunity on stage as if it's my first time and my last time." Well, that is wonderful advice for life. You're open, curious, move forward, take on that empathy and purpose, appreciate every single moment because it's the moment that you have, and every success, boundless joy. Fight on, graduates.
Thank you for being here. It's really great. Now it is my honor to introduce our principal benefactor and visionary founder, Gloria Kaufman. For decades, Gloria has poured her energies into philanthropic ventures. Through her foundation, she has supported numerous organizations, including the Music Center, the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, Juilliard, that's a school, and of course, the USC Gloria Kaufman School of Dance. Thanks to Gloria's generosity, future generations of students at USC and beyond will experience the joy of music, joy of dance. Please join me in welcoming Gloria Kaufman.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. So nice to see you. I've watched you grow. It's been great. Once again, we gather to celebrate the incredible talent of our graduation class. I like to think that each of you are coming out of your homes on a warm day, ready to dance among the flowers and the people after the cold COVID winter. Before I make my remarks, I would like to acknowledge the courage and the perseverance of each and every one of you during this horrible pandemic. I also want to thank the professors, the mentors, the administrators, the support staff at the USC Kaufman School of Dance who have made this possible for all of you. You are all my heroes. So let's see, where am I? And at that note, I want to acknowledge the year's commencement speaker, my friend Nigel Lefko. Nigel was a founding member of Dizzy Feet. It was a foundation that brought dance to the underserved communities across the community. And he had a co-founder by the name of Carrie Anaba, who was with Dancing of the Stars, and I think several others were involved. And she asked Nigel, she said, "I'd like her to be the honoree for the first Impact Award that we're going to have at the Dobie Theater." And that evening on stage was the first time I met Nigel, and we've been friends ever since. He's done some wonderful things, and he has joined our Board of Counselors, and he has been very helpful. And he is going to be a Martis. He will be part of us always because he loves our school. Next, I want to thank Carol Folk for coming to us today. Carol, we're honored to have you participate in the Kaufman ceremony. Last but certainly not least, I want to acknowledge the leadership, the dedication of Dean Rob Cudietta. He is stepping down, but not away. He will always be part of our fateful night that we first met. We were sitting at a dinner table, and I said to him, I understand you don't have dance here at the school. He says, no, it's something that has been missing for a long time. It's almost like looking at a beautiful smile without a front tooth. So I paused and I said, well, let's do something about it. And that's when it all started. The USC school started its first new school at USC in 40 years that Rob has already mentioned. I didn't know he was going to mention it. But it was very exciting because he talked to Max Nikias, and they started a whole new department, which was never here. So that was really exciting. And we planned the school, designed the building, hired faculty and staff, and created the curriculum all from scratch. Rob, as you go on to a wonderful new chapter in your life, I know I speak not only for the School of Dance, but also for the School of Music, and how much we've appreciated you, and you have been a wonderful partner positioning our USC as a leader of performing arts, not just on the West Coast, but in the world. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And heart is what we all need to get through these days, uncertain times. As we watch the tragic events unfolding in Ukraine, I have been inspired by the artists who have used their gifts to help sustain the hope of people who've been forced to flee and to fight for their country. Over the course of my life, I've witnessed dancers entertain groups during the war, give small children a happy outlive of refugee camps around the world. As a patron of the arts, I have watched dancers tell stories of full range of human experience and theaters throughout the world. From my experience, I know the depth of my soul, of the power of music and dance can uplift, inspire, and give hope to human beings, whatever their circumstances are. It has been said that art helps interpret what we experience around us. It gives us a way to express what we experience and help us integrate these experiences into our life story. In sharing this perspective with you, I want to challenge all of you as artists. Every time you take a step, take a place on the stage or in a film, or share your talent in the open air with a local audience, be intentional. As a dancer, you have a superpower to give insight and inspiration to people around you, whether they are family, friends, strangers, or an audience. So please, use your power wisely to express the deepest personal truths, whether off or on stage. Don't just move. Move with intention, with a passionate heart. Let me close by a little poem by a world-renowned physicist, Albert Einstein, who you all know about. He observed that dancers are the athletes of God. Einstein's fame as a scientist led to Nazis to condemn him in his theories, even sponsor the burning of his books with a price on his head. Einstein fled Germany, calling upon his colleagues to defend against Nazis' aggression. This man wrote, "We dance with laughter, we dance with tears. We dance for madness, we dance for fears. We dance for hope, we dance for screams. We are the dancers, we are the dreams." Congratulate everybody.
Thank you, Gloria. It has been an honor to work with you and to help you make your vision come to life. Now, I'd like to welcome to the stage one of our graduating seniors who is voted by all of you, her peers, to speak with you today. Please welcome Nina Gums.
Wow. First of all, thank you so much, Gloria. I'm gonna try and keep the tears in. Y'all make me emotional. How dare you? Hi, everyone. My name is Nina Gums, and I want to consider this speech an open letter to my class of 2022 and to my family. Surprise, I'm the class speaker. Okay. Dear beautiful ones, I write this to you all as a reminder of where we started. Back in 2018, we said yes to a program that was not even full, had no reviews, yet dared to change the future of dance education. Wow. And to all of our family and friends who thought this was a big leap, you were right. But thank you for supporting us anyway. We couldn't have done this without you. We started as a group of 26 who had no idea what to expect, new roommates to deal with, a dining hall schedule to figure out, and Grandpa Bill, who quite literally split our brains in half for 2 hours on the theme of repetition and anomalies, and this was just the beginning. The theme of our first year was running. Running in Esplanade, running in Whelm, running to our GEs, running to rehearsals, running to experience new things, and running to Spud Nuts after a night out, which was a must. Okay? Sophomore year came around with new energy, new lessons, and knowing about ourselves just a bit more. And yet our voices continued to become one. You caught that? Our voices? I hope you get that. We delivered our experiences and extended ourselves to open up to new people and new things. But then you know what 19 happened, and we were removed from the nauseatingly close, intense, stressful, loving, special, and beautiful environment of each other and Kaufman. We all changed in our own ways, away from one another as we all tried to grasp at our new reality. And personally, to see you all even now is such a privilege, knowing so many were lost amidst the pandemic. So thank you for that. Dance changed our relationship with dance. It changed, and how we see ourselves within this world shifted. As much as it was a difficult time, it has brought us here, still graduating. Y'all, we made it. We made it. The theme of this year, pure comedy to make it through. Sometimes you just have to laugh. Like leaving here in 2020 as not seniors and returning as seniors in a not so post-pandemic world. The balancing act of -16, masks, no masks, Trojan check, no Trojan check. Senior projects that were last minute yet mind-blowing, and maybe some GEs for all of you non-lucky ones like myself. But we have made it here together, and I can't imagine it any other way. I want us to recognize the bond that we have is created through experiencing each other in big and small ways. And now we are leaving here with more growth because of it. I want to thank you all for who you are and who you are becoming and who you were. Eli, this is in alphabetical order, just for one more time. I thank you for your passion because it doesn't stop at dance. It truly carries to every aspect of your life. He's already crying, stop it. Bala, I thank you for your passion to advocate and for putting me onto good food spots around LA. Dill, the funniest moments happen with you because you are unapologetically yourself, and I thank you. C, my forever roommate, thank you for your work ethic and confidence of self. That has always been an inspiration. Emmy, I thank you for your trust, your laugh, long talks, and willingness to support others. Y'all, it's already starting, okay. Casso, that French twist, okay? That French twist, okay? Keep styling. Like, she always pulls up, y'all. You don't even know. And thank you for being Mikaso. Cam, thank you for your golden spirit. It comes through even when you don't know it. Ava, I thank you for how your brain works. You are always knowing something new, and it's so fascinating. Luke Sortis, thank you for being one of my angels. India, for the color-coordinated fits, suits, and laughs. Thank you. Davon, thank you for seeing life from a bird's eye point of view and not sweating the small things. Joe, I thank you for building communities wherever you go and being unapologetic about it. And Kim, thank you for saying exactly what you mean, no more and no less. Anijah, girl, thank you for being an island gal with a gold of heart. Elise, I thank you for sharing a birthday and being a queen in your own right every single day. Casey, I thank you for your sensitivity and bear hugs. It always puts a smile on my face. Ben, thank you for your honesty and your drive. I am awe of you, who you are, and how you work. Jordan, my neighbor, thank you for your grounded soul. It has been a constant through these hectic years. Qualls, thank you for your duality as a walking party and a whole lot of love wrapped into one. Exton, thank you for being so wise among having your rambunctious moments. Tony, my Tony, thank you for your hugs, your creativity, and bursts of energy out of nowhere. I don't know where it comes from. Why, I thank you for the music, I thank you for the comedy and the growth over the past 4 years. I am so grateful and proud of all of us for making it to this very moment. Our class sits in a unique position where we saw the first generation of Kaufman come and go, yet we get to see the future of this program. Let's never forget the precious moments that have made our experience here nothing short of an experience. I can't wait to see where we all go, and may we always have money on a gold plate in the process. With the utmost love, Nina.
Thank you, Nina. That was just wonderful. Now, it is my honor to welcome our 2022 commencement speaker, Nigel Lithgow. Yep. Tony-nominated and Emmy Award-winning producer, director, choreographer, and dancer, Nigel is one of the most recognizable figures in television and commercial dance world today. Not only is he responsible for the development of Pop Idol, which would become the global franchise that includes American Idol, but he is also responsible for elevating commercial dance and choreography to a never-before-seen height as co-creator of So You Think You Can Dance, where he served as a judge for the show for the first 16 seasons. Here at USC, Nigel has been a supporter of Kaufman since before we admitted our first class. In fact, he was a founding member of the school's Board of Counselors and has been an invaluable ambassador for the school and advisor and a friend to me ever since. He has funded student scholarships, he has taught master classes, he's hosted students at the tapings of his shows, and this year we honored him by elevating him to emeritus status on our board. What an amazing career he has had. But here's the deal. Can he deliver a commencement speech? That's completely unknown. Okay. Can he stay focused on one topic for 10 minutes? In my year, 20, okay, in my years of knowing him, I've not seen any evidence that that can happen. Can he talk for 10 minutes without telling an off-color joke? No, that's just a given also. But you know, I asked him to speak, he showed up, so what can we do? Please welcome Nigel Lithgow.
Thank you very much. We're only a small group here, so when I ask you for applause and everything, I want you to be louder than anybody else on this campus. Is that all right? Not yet, not yet, not yet. Calm down, calm down. President Fold, esteemed members of the faculty, proud parents, undergraduates, distinguished guests, and devoted friends, I would ask you all now to join with me in congratulating the USC Kaufman graduating class of 2022. Congratulations. Fabulous. Well done. There's absolutely no question that this class has had a tough couple of years. COVID has been historic in its devastation across the world, and sadly on the smaller stage here, COVID has managed to totally disrupt their university lives. However, I'm glad to say they've survived, and here they are on the other side of it at their graduation ceremony, and at a day, I trust, that will always be one of the most memorable events in their lives. Now, I'm here speaking for two very good reasons. The first reason is that the university felt they needed a speaker with dance experience, sophistication, and wit. And they found such a man. The second reason I'm here is he fell ill and they called me. I had never heard a commencement speech before being asked to make this one today. I wasn't sure what I was meant to say, so I was just going to tell you a number of UCLA jokes. Like, I understand UCLA couldn't do a nativity scene at Christmas last year because they couldn't find 3 wise men or a virgin. However, a friend suggested that it wouldn't be a good idea to do that, so I'm not going to do it. I should listen to other people's commencement speeches, he said, which I duly did. I now understand that I need to be inspirational, informative for you, the class of 2022. Don't hold your breaths. So here I am on the stage of one of the greatest universities in America, having been granted this honor by Dean Cutietta of giving you the commencement speech, in the thought that I may say something slightly intelligent during the course of the next 3 hours. Only kidding, I'll fit it into less than 2. Anyway, I hope to say something inspirational that will help you in your careers. It's probably only now that Rob is beginning to realize that this could be a terrible mistake. There was no need to nod your head quite so vigorously, Rob. Let's accept the fact that you wouldn't be here if you weren't all great dancers, right? So my speech is going to be more about your future. You may not see it now, but dance may not be the only area that you find yourself being offered employment in. And that's the important part. This diploma you receive today is like a passport to help you transition into other areas of professional life as well as dance. Being a dancer shows people in the world that you work hard, you have dedication, you have discipline, and that's great assets for your future. So no matter how successful you may become, I want you to constantly strive for greater successes by setting higher and higher goals for yourself, and possibly even becoming the President of the United States. Why not? Worse people have done it. Anyway, I hope you listen to what I've got to say, and one day look back fondly and ask yourself, what on earth was he talking about? The stage is full of far more intelligent people than myself. Is Rob nodding again? I'll bet he is, yeah. Far more intelligent people. Anyway, I'm going to talk to you about the one thing that I know more about than anybody else. Me. And I want to show you how my career developed to show you what may happen to you in the future. It's the best thing that I can do, I feel. I never had the kind of education that has been afforded to you. I began tap dancing at 11 years of age. Shuffle, hop step, shuffle, hop step. I left academia when I was 16, and with terrible grades. I was lucky enough to convince my parents that F stood for phenomenal. They had the worse education than me, so it worked. It would have been inconceivable for me then to have believed how my career would manifest itself over the years to eventually provide me with 3 Emmys, a Grammy nomination, a Tony nomination, an Ellis Island International Medal of Honor, a PhD from the University of Bedfordshire, and the Order of the British Empire from Her Majesty the Queen, as well as a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, just imagine what I might have achieved if I had graduated from here. Imagine what you can achieve. That's the important thing today. I've always believed there are 3 types of people in life. Those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those that say, what the hell just happened? I want to be a person that makes things happen, and I want you to be people that make things happen too. I trust you're all aware you've been given this incredible gift of dance. Gloria spoke earlier about your superpower, the superpower that you possess. And I insist, no, I demand that you don't waste it. Doesn't it make you feel special? The fact that you can touch people without words, isn't that special? It really is. Now, the one word I want you to forget altogether is the word failure. Doesn't exist. Or the fear of failure. Doesn't exist. Don't allow it to exist in your life. Listen, it's all about semantics, in truth, of how you remain positive. Obviously, you're not always going to be successful, right? There will be setbacks, but setbacks don't define you. Don't label those moments failures. They are stepping stones on the way to success. So wipe the word out of your vocabulary. It doesn't exist. Besides that, any stepping stones I've found myself on, I've generally learned a great deal more than I knew before. You won't get every job you audition for. You will have to face the fact that you're not everyone's cup of tea. You will be swiped left on occasions. But just recently, I've heard a number of speakers use the word resilience. You need to be resilient. But this doesn't mean that you build a wall around yourself for protection. It certainly doesn't mean that you don't show your emotions. Eli could never do that, could you, Eli? You are performers. You are artists. You are dancers. You touch us with your emotions and your vulnerability. Through dance, you speak the language of the soul. You know, actors are told that they need the soul of a young child and the skin of a rhinoceros. And that's pretty right. That's what you're going to need. You will be hurt. You will be injured. You will suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. You will die by 1,000 cuts from sharp tongues. But being resilient, you will spring back. That's what resilience means. You spring back onto your little dancing feet. Now, the Japanese have got a great saying, and you'll have to forgive my pronunciation. Nana karobi yaoki. And it means fall down 7 times, stand up 8. Well worth remembering for dancers, because we tend to fall down a great deal more than most people. I was lucky enough to nail my first audition for the Corps de Ballet of a touring operetta called The Merry Widow. And I must be honest, classical was not really a technique that it wasn't one of my greatest assets, shall we say. And in my pink tights that went all the way up to cover my nipples, with a little darker pink bolero jacket on and a red beret plunked on my head. I resembled a sort of lumpy dancing strawberry milkshake with a cherry on top. It wasn't my best look, not one of my finest moments. And I really wasn't that successful with a lot of my auditions. I failed quite a few, to the point that I was beginning to think my name was next. Think about it. I can wait. I eventually got a part in the West End musical called Mr. and Mrs. I had a little solo song and dance in it, and it was based on a Noel Coward play called Brief Encounter. Unfortunately, our time at the Palace Theatre was a brief encounter too. Now, the good news was a TV producer saw me, invited me on to a dance group called The Young Generation, 15 boys, 15 girls. I was in it for 3 years, and at the age of 22, I became the choreographer. When the initial choreographer, quit. And I had no real experience in choreographing, just strong personality, creativity, and a big mouth. I learned a great deal during 7 years of doing that. Not just about choreography, but about camera direction as well, and how to handle people, how you need to be firm when necessary, and how to acquiesce when needed. Definite skills that I would need later in my career. This is one thing I would implore you all to do. Never stop learning. Never stop listening, observing, and learning. You never know when you can draw upon any crazy experiences and how important they may be later on, and how important common sense is. Really worth remembering. So I was now choreographing all over Europe. I was invited to work at a theater called the Friedrichstadt Palace in East Berlin. Now, East Berlin was before the wall came down, so nobody spoke English here, and there were 100 dancers, 70 girls, 30 guys. And this was in the communist bloc. But 100 dancers, this was an experience I couldn't miss out on, even though it took me out of my comfort zone. East Berlin was behind what was known as the Iron Curtain. It was difficult to make telephone calls home, and when you got through, you knew someone was listening on the other end. It was like being a dancing James Bond at the time. I felt like a little spy there. And every Sunday I'd walk across this border between East Berlin and Checkpoint Charlie, which was on the American zone. And I'd go across there, you'd hand your papers in to the guard in East Berlin, and you'd walk across this area. And it's a long, scary walk across what was called no man's land. And you knew the Americans had binoculars on you as you were walking towards them, and behind you, on the gun tower, the East German guards had a rifle trained on you. It was really quite scary. But I'd go across for Sunday lunch in a great restaurant and then pop down into the bathroom and steal the toilet paper. The toilet paper in East Berlin was terrible. It would leave splinters in your bum. It was terrible. As it happened, my next experience again was in a movie in West Berlin. It was an American-Israeli musical called The Apple. The movie was a flop. But it wasn't a failure. It actually gained cult status. And it's still released 40 years later as a double bill with Xanadu, and it's known as possibly the worst 2 musicals ever. So if you're going to fail, then fail successfully. Cult status, that was great. By the time I was 40, I'd given up choreography and dance altogether. I became a fully fledged television producer and director of comedy and music shows. You see how my career is moving from one thing to another. No plans to do this. I had no idea this was going to happen. My son, who was working in Australia on a program called Pop Stars, introduced me to it. I brought the format back to England. It was an enormous success. Simon Fuller, who was the Spice Girls manager, he developed Pop Idol out of that. And he asked me to join him, leave my job. It meant walking away from a secure position, giving up my shares, my pension, a steady job for a program that had never been made, Pop Idol. Of course, I did that. It seemed like a good idea. So I had no idea that at the age of 52, I'd find myself here in America making American Idol. It may have been bravery or stupidity to accept Simon Fuller's invitation. Either way, it was taking advantage of an opportunity that was presented to me. You'll find that life has many surprises in store for you, And you certainly can't make plans because you won't be prepared for them. John Lennon wrote, "Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans." Don't let your life slip by without noticing the opportunities that you weren't expecting. They can be easily missed. You need to be brave, be prepared to adapt, be able to adjust and modify your plans at any time. After the first series, with all of America talking about Simon Cowell and Kelly Clarkson, the world I thought was my oyster. I was editing the auditions for series 2 when life took another unexpected turn. I had my first heart attack. I blamed Simon Cowell. But it was probably the 3 packs of Marlboro that I smoked every day. It goes to show that whatever plans you make, life can have other alternate plans for you. I managed to survive that setback, but during the auditions for season 3, the same year, my appendix exploded and I developed peritonitis, poisoned all my organs, and after 3 operations, I lost 15 foot of intestine. Life was not making my success in America easy. After 6 weeks in hospital, I was back on my feet, and then my wife divorced me. So you see, in 1 year, I lost the back of my heart, 16 foot of intestine, and my wife. And I miss my intestine. Only kidding, only kidding. My speech was getting a little boring for me there, so I needed something to lighten the mood. Bonnie and I are still great friends, and she's here today with her attorney. At this time, it was Simon Cowell that said to me, Simon Fuller, said to me, you should go back to your roots and create an idol for dancers. So as a kid, I trained in tap, then ballet, ballroom, classical Greek. Have you ever done classical Greek? Classical Greek is you turn one way and then your body's like the friezes on the vases. And the girls go around with the water carrier on their shoulders and the guys stride around with a spear. It's bloody boring. So my idea was to take dancers out of their comfort zone and to introduce street kids that hadn't been formally trained, who I believe worked just as hard as the formally trained in their bedrooms, and put them together and take them out of their comfort zones. And so therefore, So You Think You Can Dance was born. Now, we touch other people's lives simply by existing. Simply by existing. But to touch people through the art of dance, which you can all do, is so gratifying. So You Think You Can Dance, I know, elevated dance in the minds of so many people, and I'm extremely proud to have created it. I am now 72. When I was young, I would sneak out of my home to go to parties. I must be honest and say I now sneak out of parties to go home. However, I still enjoy working, and my career has taken another turn. Having met the owner of Triller Fight Club, Ryan Kavanagh, at an LA ballet gala, I now produce his versus rap battles and his boxing events. And in fact, tomorrow night, I have a major event at the Forum here in Inglewood with a rap battle between Cypress Hill and Onyx and 6 incredible fights. So who knew I would move from dance to boxing? Not me. That's something, again, worth remembering. I could never have made that plan. Didn't know anything about rap battles. Didn't know a lot about boxing. I gave it up when I was 11, because every time I threw a punch, I farted. It was embarrassing. Nerves, it was nerves. But that's why you must be prepared for anything. I don't want to look back at my life and say, I wish I had. I want to look back and say, I'm glad I did. And I want the same for you. Now, my final piece of advice. Thank God, said all the people with weak bladders. My final piece of advice is don't be restricted by remaining in the bounds of your own existence. Don't be frightened by what you don't know. Today's graduation proves that you can learn Look what happened to me. Imagine what can happen to you. Will you be the one to create the first tabletop three-dimensional ballet at some point? Will you be the first one to create the first weightless pas de deux in space? Maybe you will become the next president. Who knows? Let's face it, even if you're a lousy president, America's had worse. Use your imagination. Envisage what else you can become. There's a lot of ugly ducklings out there. By that, I don't mean you're ugly, forgive me. Well, some of you might be, but I won't name names. You know who you are. What you've got to do is use your imagination to imagine you can become an incredible, beautiful swan. At one of the many events held to say goodbye to Rob, and there have been quite a lot of them, it's quite remarkable. He's still here, actually. President Folt reminded me of a Disney quote. And Walt Disney said that Disneyland would never be completed while there was imagination in the world. Let me suggest to you that you will continue to grow and never be complete while you employ your imagination for you. And after listening to my life story, you've got to believe anything can happen to change your lives. Because if you don't believe, you will never achieve. Believe to achieve. I've got a t-shirt with that, and I like that. Believe to achieve. Gloria mentioned Einstein. He once said, logic will take you from A to B. Imagination can take you everywhere. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? For now, I want you to go out into the world fully armed, ready to do combat, as in the spirit of Trojans. And you know what you've been taught to do here. So when you go out there, just remember what to do. Fight on, fight on, fight on. Be successful, be outstanding. More importantly, be happy. Thank you, love, and luck.
Well, you can add commencement speeches to your.
Yes, thank you. Is that right?
And
You introduce? Go back one. Go back.
thank you, Nigel, for sharing your words of wisdom for our graduating students. You can now officially add commencement speaker to your resume.
Lovely.
Successful commencement speaker.
Do I get paid?
No, you're not getting paid. Yeah, I'm gonna. It is so good. I'm gonna double what I'm paying you.
Oh,
Okay, triple it.
When are you leaving?
You have been, Nigel. All kidding aside, you've been such an important figure in the school's success, and we are forever grateful for your generosity and your support for USC Kaufman and for me. Now, I'd like to welcome our Associate Dean of Academic and Student Life, Anne Albert Santelli, who will announce the graduate names. I also want to say, with my stepping down, Anne is now the senior person in the Kaufman School of Dance, as I think the first person I hired. So, yes.
All right, graduates, in just a moment, we will invite you to begin approaching the platform. We will dismiss you by row and have you line up by the side of the stage. Then, once your name is announced, you will proceed across the front of the stage to receive your diploma from Dean Cudietta. Be congratulated by President Foltz and Assistant Dean of Faculty, Jackie Kopczak, and pose for a photo with Gloria Kaufman and Nigel Lithgow. Once you've exited the stage, you will pose for a final photo in front of the USC Kaufman backdrop. After that photo, please return to your seat and remain seated until all graduates have been recognized. All right. So without further ado, Douglas Eli Alford. Isabella Reese Allen. Dylan Lee Amsterdam. Sierra Ray Billups. Emily Camille Carr. Isabella Casso. Cameron George Cofrancesco. Ava Rose Cosentino. Luke Joseph Sordis. India Minnie Dobby. Davon Rashawn Farmer. Nina Maria Gums. Jonathan Huang. Jimin and Kim. Anijah Lizama. Elise Monson. Casey Callahan Murray. Benjamin Eric Peralta. Jordan Michelle Powell. Luke Oliver Qualls. Christian Smith. Anthony Joseph Tett. Wyeth Christopher Walker. All right. Congratulations to all of our bachelor's degree graduates.
Congratulations again to all the USC Kaufman BFA class of 2022. Yes, graduates, at this point, please return to your seats and prepare for the recessional. Faculty and staff, please come to the front of the stage once the graduates have completed the recessional. We want a picture. Thank you, everyone, for coming to the USC Kaufman Satellites commencement ceremony. It has really been a pleasure serving as a dean of this incredible school. I can't wait to see where it goes in its next years going forward. So best of luck to all of you and best of luck to the Kaufman School. Fight on.